this episode of CobbTV, we are talking about post-punk drumming. Now, post-punk music emerged from the wave of punk rock from the late 70s, like the Sex Pistols and the Ramones. And it's that DIY, do-it-yourself ethic that inspired the next generations of rock music to come out of England in the late 70s. So let's take, for example, Tommy Ramone and his drumming on the track Blitzkrieg Bop. Riding on the floor tom, actually at a fast tempo, is extremely influential to drumming today. So now we're going to take that beat and we're going to take it apart and put it back together. And then we have the drum beat for Naturals Not In It by Gang of Four. And it's actually playing on the toms that's a big characteristic of post-punk drumming. Not in every beat, but every post-punk band has at least a dozen songs where they're playing on the rack toms and floor toms in a unique way. Just take, for example, the song Adventures Close to Home by the Raincoats as a great example of this original style of playing. Perhaps my favorite example of a post-punk drummer playing on the toms is going to be the drummer for The Cure, Lol Tolhurst, on the track The Figurehead. What he's really known for is playing heavily on the toms, especially in a very tribal way that complements their dark gothic nature. And what I love about that track is how hypnotic the drums are. Yes, it puts you in a trance. And a big quality of that is being a drummer who can play like a drum machine. I can't mention Human Drum Machine without talking about Stephen Morris.
Yes.
And of course, the thing that Stephen Morris is most widely known for is his use of 16th notes on the hi-hat. And I actually read his biography, Confessions of a Post-Punk Percussionist, and in that book, he talks about how it was actually the theme from Shaft that influenced him to start playing 16th notes on the hi-hat. And a big part of post-punk drumming is incorporating elements of dance music into your drumming and playing style. So let's take, for example, the song Love Will Tear Us Apart as a great sample of him using his 16th notes in an incredibly cool way. did in fact take this technique to another step. In fact, imagine playing 16th notes on the hi-hat and then starting to incorporate the toms in the rhythmic cadence, like on the track Ceremony. Let's chew on this idea of taking away notes, creating more space. Siouxsie and the Banshees has a track called Christine, and the drums especially stand out to me because of how much space is left. In fact, the drummer Budgie deliberately refuses to play the kick drum on beat 1 throughout most of this song, instead making the emphasis the backbeats, which is played with flams on the snare. And by creating space in your drum beats, you're actually allowing the music to breathe. You're allowing more things to happen musically, sonically, otherwise. And so on the song Elevation by Television, the drum beat is super cool because the space actually creates more emphasis on how cool those 4-stroke triplets on the hi-hat are. And there you have it, just a taste of post-punk drumming, perhaps my favorite style, and one of the most influential styles to modern music. Yes, it is seeped into alternative rock, into indie, into practically everything. A lot of these examples, you'd be like, oh, that sounds like this song, or I know people who have done this technique on this drum beat. So please, leave examples of other post-punk bands, other drummers, and other songs that I didn't mention that have a really cool effect on music, on the sound, on the overall spacing of the things that we listen to, all right? And in case you want to do a deeper dive, I left a Spotify playlist in the description and in the comment section of this video that you can go check out. And if any particular bands catch your ear, just go do a deep dive, all right? So be sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more epic musical content. But in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.